It's really simple. I mean, number one, the unsung heroics of games 3 and 4 were the Cavs' defense. From Kyle Korver to LeBron James, they all defended better. We know that was their problem all season long. We did not think they would be able to turn it up and play good defense. Not only did they play good defense, they played stellar defense in Cleveland. And then in Boston, they've been terrible defensively. So first of all, that's the thing you have to take care of. Secondly, the role players. You know what LeBron James is going to give you. If it might be 28 and a triple-double, or it might be 40-plus and close to a triple-double. He's going to play his game. You need Kyle Korver, George Hill, J.R. Smith. All these role players have to play better. The good news for Cleveland is Kevin Love was actually pretty good in Boston. Statistically, he was better in Boston.
He was bad in Cleveland. In Cleveland, he was 7 for 24, those last 2 games. In the series, he's 5 for 18 from 3. Love, while other guys have stepped up, most notably Korver and George Hill, Love took a step back. They need Love. Love was really good in Game 2 of this series where they had all the defensive breakdowns. I want to ask you one thing about the defense real quick, because I thought the Cavs were extraordinary defensively in Game 3. And I thought they were great defensively the first quarter of Game 4. And then the next 3 quarters, they give up 84 points. I think that was the one concerning note of what happened in Cleveland to me is they seem to fall back into some of those bad defensive habits, allowed Jason Tatum to get going a little bit, allowed Jaylen Brown to get going a little bit. They need to bring the defensive intensity from the entirety of Game 3 to the entirety of Game 5.
The challenge for them is that they're not that athletic.
And
Boston is way more athletic. And so how long can they sustain a good defensive run? To your point, maybe it was 5 quarters, and then they fell apart defensively, so they're going to have to play well.
Boston is far more athletic. Jenna and I's question is, and earlier discussing this, Brad Stevens, say something. Do something. Say something, I'm giving up on you. It's time for him to come up with either a move, either as far as the lineup. Like, we're giving him all these accolades. Someone on this desk, a guest that we have, says he's the best coach in the NBA. It's time to say something and make an adjustment. Like, what is he going to do in a crucial game number 5? How does he get them better looks offensively?
I would bet that he stays with his same starting lineup.
So not going to start Aaron Banks?
I don't think so, because to your point, the last 3 quarters they played okay. Remember I talked about it yesterday. Like, if you're Boston, you're a young team, you can feel at least a little bit better that, okay, the last 3 quarters we played our game.
Yes.
And we got back in it to some degree. So I don't think he'll change, and especially with them going home, where they have been better. You don't like the opposites, the way they've played road home, but he understands it. So I think they'll stay pat.
I think that whatever Brad Stevens' adjustment is, what he has to be trying to achieve is, I would say, 2 primary things. 1, getting Al Horford involved offensively, and 2, giving Terry Rozier help defensively. Because if the Cavs keep hunting Terry Rozier down, then all of a sudden, if he becomes unplayable, and I thought he was unplayably bad for parts of Game 4, even though he ended up statistically with a decent line.
And, Nick, it shouldn't be hard for him to recognize that, because that's exactly what he did to the Cavs in games 1 and 2 in Boston.
Absolutely.
As far as running this motion offense, picking until they got the matchup that they wanted.
It's what they did in the second round against Philly with Redick. They were just running, they were just attacking Redick. Wherever Redick was, that's what they were doing. Because they don't have backup point guard now. Shane Larkin's hurt. Like, you don't want Marcus Smart running your point. This is where the Kyrie injury really comes into focus, because your backup point guard is supposed to be Terry Rozier. So getting Al Horford involved offensively and helping Terry Rozier defensively.
The balance in this series has shifted. I mean, it was very Boston-centered. We didn't think they were going to have a problem. They thought they'd be tested, but not a problem in Cleveland. And now it's shifted. Who's got more pressure on them heading into this game?
Well, for one game, it's clearly on Boston tonight, because if they lose, it's over. We know they're going back to Cleveland, and the series is over. So just for this game, it would be on Boston. If Cleveland loses, obviously they go home, probably win, and then you got the best player in the world in Game 7. But I would say this. Overall, it's on Cleveland. It's always on Cleveland in the East.
I was getting ready to try to shock you guys and say that.
Right?
Yeah,
it's always – if Boston is playing with house money, if they lose this series – nobody's going to say anything.
We got a lot of built-in excuses.
Yeah, they're young. We don't have our 2 best players.
And Brad Stevens was great
just to get them this far.
Right.
if you're Cleveland, if you're LeBron, how'd you lose in the Eastern Conference Finals to a team with no stars, a team that was banged up? So the pressure is on Cleveland overall. So there's no question.
To me, I'm going to pick three different groups and why I believe the pressure is on Cleveland. For one, it's on Cleveland's role players. Anytime they make a skit with you at Saturday Night Live, man, you got pressure. LeBron and them, the others, it's real pressure. The head coach, no one give him credit, man. It's been a tough year for him. Man, he's had a very, very tough. Right now, it's a stalemate as far as coaching. Brad Stevens took the lead with what he did to him, executing offensively. But Ty Lue, what he did with Tristan Thompson, putting him in the lineup, Larry Nance Jr., that's about even. Yep. But, man, this will not change. We saw Kevin Durant get the ball, dribble the length of the court, give it up to Clay. Steph not touch the ball, and no one say nothing about them not getting it done. But LeBron James, you let that happen to him tomorrow.
No question.
So what supersedes all them other things, the role players are under more pressure. Ty Lue as the coach, he's no good. Any of the coaches with LeBron James, they're no good. And trust me, the king has the crown to wear. And you pointed this out, Nick, and it really got me thinking. LeBron saw what happened last night.
So that's what I wanted to run by you, Broussard, because from talking to folks around LeBron, they have almost been resigned to the fact that this Cavs team cannot hang with Golden State. That the Golden State, with their motion offense, the way they cannot lock in defensively, even if LeBron averages a 40-point triple-double, they can't beat Golden State. They also believe that while they would be underdogs to Houston, they actually could beat them. So I feel like last night has an extra motivating factor for LeBron because he all of a sudden, the door is not closed on him winning a championship this year. If Golden State goes up 3-1, I feel like he's still going to try hard. He's still going to want to win. But it's as far as making sure they don't let go of the rope if it starts going badly in Boston. If he knows in the back of his head, man, if we come back here for what? So we get our heads handed to us in the finals? I think that's a real thing here.
There are LeBron James fans I've talked to hoping they lose this series. Because
listen, I got a full confessional. We got the preacher here. I'm in that camp. I'm so sorry.
Because 3-6 looks worse, right?
Yes. I've been telling Nick this off TV, man. Man, we don't want that, Nick. Nick's like, yes, we do want that.
Because I think it's absurd to say it'd be better to lose than to win. But
I'm on your side, but I'm on both sides because I understand in 5 years, people are just going to say he's 3-6. They're not going to remember Boston. But to your point, here's the thing, and this is where I give Houston a ton of credit. I love the fact that they're not folding, that they believe they can beat Golden State. And I get being realistic. LeBron, he's human like the rest of us. He sees we don't have the athleticism to stay with them, to switch with them the way that
we got beaten 5 last year, and we're worse.
And we had Kyrie. However, there's something to be said for just lining up and believing. He puts his pants on just like I do. They put their pants on just like we do. And I would like to see LeBron feel like no matter who we get, we can win.
Sure.
Now, maybe you can't, but you got to go out there with that attitude, especially when you're the best player in the world. So, yeah.
But it is more realistic against Houston.
I've been told by people close to LeBron, they think they can beat Houston.
Exactly right. And they do not feel that way about Golden State. Yep.
Right. Among the many things I didn't think we'd talk about on this show.
Pants?
How men put their pants on. Cris, stick around. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.